Hi, I'm Tamez, and today with all my friends at FaveCrafts.com, I'm really excited to bring you this really fast, easy tutorial using the Red Heart Boutique Sashay yarn. And this is something that just came into my craft store, and I'm really excited to be using it. And I thought I would show you just how you go about knitting it together. And it's a unique yarn in that it opens up, and you can see on one end you have some metallic, and on the other end you just have some open weaving, and you're going to be using the open weaving end. The metallic is the show end, and what I like to do is open it up, and look, you can see that you have two lines of thread, and I like to stitch with the two lines of thread, these two right here, and it just gives you a good amount of thread. It seems to be a nice strong stitch. But what I'm going to do is just go ahead and move over here and show you. This is the effect you get when you go and do a knit purl stitch, and you get this great kind of ruffly effect. But anyways, I'm just going to go over here and get in position, and you can see that I have cast on 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in the next part of this video, I'll show you how you go ahead and cast on. But since right now I'm working on this scarf, I just thought I would show you how I'm going to go about and knit purl and then finish it off. But to do the knit stitch, what you do is go in from the underside, take your needle, and go right in, right there, and then take your thread, or your yarn, and open it up. See those two lines? Just go ahead and loop your needle right into an opening. Bring it down, and then bring your needle under, and then you can go ahead and pull that stitch off. Okay, so now you can go ahead and look and see. Now when you're doing this, and if you go ahead and leave off your project sometime, what you can do, and if you're trying to remember, am I on the knit stitch or am I on the purl stitch, what you can do is look for the little pearls. And you can see it best on the blue. This little section right here, this brown, that is a purl stitch. And then because we're doing alternating all the purl stitches on one side, you can go ahead and flip it around and see these are all the knit stitches. So if you see all the ruffles and you're doing this project where you're doing knit purl, you can go ahead and see, oh look, all the fringes on one side, I know I'm ready for the purl stitch. So then what you can go ahead and do, because the purl stitch is just a little bit different, is you're going to go in from the top with your needle. So go in from the top, go ahead just like that, and then just as before, you're going to go ahead and open up your yarn, find the 2 threads, loop it over, and go ahead and bring your stitch to the back. And I'll try and get you a good picture of this. So you're going to go in from the top, just like that. Open up your yarn, go ahead and loop it over, and then bring your stitch through the needle, and you can slip off that one. So when your scarf gets as long as you want it to be, you're going to be ready to cast off. And I always like to cast off when I'm on the knit stitch. It's just easier for me. You can do it either way with the knit or the purl, but it's easier for me to do it with the knit stitch. The knit stitch for a lot of people is the easier one to do, and for a long time I only knew how to do that one stitch. But anyway, so what you'll do is go ahead and get in position, and you'll just go like you were doing a regular stitch, go ahead, stitch 1, knit stitch, and then stitch 2 knit stitches. And then you can stop and hold on for a second. So what you're going to do is, with this needle, go ahead to your first stitch and bring it under. Try to get you good. And then what you're going to do is go ahead and bring that over that last stitch you just did. So you've just cast off 1 stitch. So now what you're going to do is go ahead and do 1 more stitch. And then you're going to cast that one off the same way. And you'll just work your way over 1 stitch at a time. Now when you get to this last one right here, you can go ahead and tie a little knot with this stitch and some of your yarn. And just go ahead, get some scissors, give yourself enough yarn to work with, get it out, and just go ahead and tie a little knot. At least that's what I do, and it works alright for me, but if there is a better way, feel free. But just like that, cut off your excess, and here you have your scarf. It's fun, it's cool, makes a great gift. I don't know who I'm going to give this to, probably my sister. But anyways, here's one option that you can do. And then what you can do is another way. I'm going to show this second yarn. And this is how you go ahead and cast on, or at least how I do it. I don't know, there might be tons of ways, there really are. But the first thing I do is I take my needle and I just go ahead and tie a little knot right around. Simple, simple, simple. And I go ahead and double knot it, just to make things safe. You can go ahead and leave the end if you want, but then go ahead and work your way over to the edge of the needle and pull this over. And see how I'm wrapping the yarn around my finger, creating a little turn? Well, what you're going to do is take your needle and go right in and pull. And that is 1 stitch cast on. Well, 2 stitches counting your knot. So then you go ahead, and for this project, for both projects, you only need 6 stitches. So go ahead, twirl your finger, and then bring it right on. And pull, and you can go ahead and even out the yarn. So there's 6 stitches, and go ahead and straighten out your yarn a little bit. And I use the entire length of the yarn when I'm casting on. It just makes it easier for me. And so then what you're going to do, and for this one, we're not going to do any purl stitches. We're just going to do knit, 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 knit. And that might make it go faster for you. But at the beginning, go ahead and separate your stitches a little bit just so it makes it easier. Especially if you're a new knitter or not very good like me. I'm not the best knitter in the world, but anyways. And then when you just get out these yarns, they're kind of woven pretty tightly. But what you can do is go ahead and break it open, find your 2 strands at the top, just like that, and you're going to be knitting with those. So go ahead, 1, And if you're not sure if you've actually taken the stitch, just go ahead and don't pull it off. You don't have to. You can always redo it. Now here, where you would normally, if you were doing this project where all the purl stitches are on one side and all the knit stitches are on the other, you would switch to the purl stitch. But instead, we're just going to go ahead and keep on knitting. And this will give a spiral effect to the entire scarf.